If you are considering adopting a newborn baby, there is a chance that your baby may not be born in the same state that you live in. Stay tuned, and I'm going to share with you my experience in adopting across state lines, and I'm hoping that some of the things that I learned will also help you. Hi, my name is Yolanda, and I'm currently in the process of adopting a newborn baby who was born in a different state that I live in. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I selected the two attorneys that are helping me with the adoption and what their roles are. So let's go ahead and get into it. First off, this adoption is a private adoption. I did not go through an adoption agency, although the birth mother was working with an agency before I came to her and asked her how she felt about me adopting her baby. So from there, we had a couple of conversations and we decided that we're going to do this privately, just select the attorneys and all those things. So I reached out to about 8 different attorneys and I had lots of questions, but my main questions were about the fees, home study, and what documentation am I going to receive. So regarding fees, I wanted to know not only what was their price, but also I wanted to know what type of payment do they accept. Do they accept check, cash, credit cards, debit cards, Venmo, PayPal, etc. I wanted to know what type of payment they accepted. Also, with regarding to fee, I wanted to know at what intervals do I pay them? Do they require a deposit? And if they require a deposit, at what point down the road do they get final payment? So those were the questions that I had pertaining to fee. I also asked the question about home study. Do I need a home study? I found out I did, and I actually created a video about the home study checklist that I received. I'm going to link it in the description below, so feel free to go and check that out. It includes tips on how I stayed organized through completing the home study. I also wanted to know what documentation am I going to get as far as me having legal custody of the baby before the adoption is completed. I knew what the birth mom was going to have to do. I knew what the bio father was going to have to do. But as far as it came to me and documentation that I would get so that I'm able to take this child to doctor's appointments and anything else that he may need medically, what kind of documentation am I going to get for that? Also, I ended up retaining 2 attorneys, and I had to retain 2 because we are following Florida state law for this adoption, which is the state that I live in. So this is a Florida adoption, okay? But I also needed an attorney for the state that the baby was going to be born in because I needed help with getting consent and completing the ICPC paperwork, things like that. And the reason I selected these 2 attorneys was because, one, this is all they do. All they do all day long is deal with adoptions. They know the adoption laws literally like the back of their hands. And I felt really comfortable knowing that they would be taking on my case, that this was their main focus. Also, I learned that both of these attorneys are listed with an organization called the Academy of Adoption and Assisted Reproductive Attorney Directory, which is an organization. They vet these attorneys and they are dedicated to just adoption, and I highly recommend using an attorney from this directory. I'm going to link the website below in the description as well, so if you want to check that out, you can. So sidebar really quick, something that made me even more comfortable selecting an attorney from that directory. As I am waiting for the attorney in the state that the baby was born in, as I'm waiting for him to come into my hospital room, he comes in and we start talking about various things. And he said, you know, while I was out there waiting to come in, there was a lady who sat down beside me and she started telling me about her adoption and how she had an attorney who completely messed up her adoption, so she wasn't able to adopt the child that she was trying to adopt. And I said, well, did you give her your information? She was like, yeah, I gave her mine along with the attorney in Florida as well. So it just goes to show, at any time, any place, you can be at that right time, that right place at that right time to make those connections. So that kind of gave me a little bit more of the warm and fuzzies, having to like an attorney who only dealt with adoption. I was like, this is so great. This is going to work out so great. Okay. So as I'm working with these two attorneys, not only did I learn about ICPC, which stands for the Interstate Compact on the Placement of Children, is basically an agreement between both states saying, yeah, you can take the baby across state lines. I also learned that a few different ways that the bio father can relinquish his rights, or that his rights are terminated prior to the baby being adopted. In the state of Florida, they can sign an affidavit just denying paternity altogether. I thought that was very interesting. Needless to say, I thought that was very interesting. And I also learned that there's a conversation that I should have with the birth mom about her expectation when the baby is born and her birth plan. Having those conversations was really, really helpful for me and the birth mom. We had conversations about a whole bunch of things, and I'm actually going to do a video about those conversations and those questions that we had, and hope that it'll help somebody else who's in the process of doing the same thing. But those conversations were literally so good. I found out that we were on the same page with regards to a lot of things. Like, we were literally thinking the same things when it came to certain things. Working with those two attorneys, I am more than impressed with them, not only with how they communicate with each other, because they're constantly talking to each other, emailing each other, calling each other, but also how they communicate with me. So far, it's been a great experience, and in a couple of months, all should be well, and my baby will be fully adopted. I know I didn't go into too much about ICPC in this video. However, there were a couple of documents that I had to complete for ICPC. So if you're interested in that information, just comment below. If I get enough comments or enough interest, I will probably do a separate video, a really quick video about ICPC and what it requires. But honestly, I know it sounds intimidating, but I got approved to head back to Florida in 2 business days. So baby was born on Monday, and paperwork was signed on Wednesday by the birth mom, and paperwork was submitted to ICPC on Friday. On Monday, I got the calls, not one, but 2 calls, because both my attorneys called me to tell me I could come back home. I got the call from both attorneys on Monday. So literally Friday, Monday, 2 business days. I hope this video has been very helpful, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.